You, are you in the market for a knife that can also be a pry bar or a scraper or a poker or a whatever you want it to be? If you're looking for something like that, you've come to the right place. Hi guys, it's Erica with Not Your Average GDC. I'm having a lot of fun with these like dumb intros lately. How's it going? Let's talk about multi-tools, but in knife formation. I just made a video about this, but then I started thinking I could show some of the knives that I use as multi-tools, and that would be fun, right? Okay, so knives as multi-tools. Sometimes we use our knives as multi-tools. Sometimes you want a rugged knife that can do anything on the job that you throw at it, and it won't say no, and it won't break, right? Right. If you're in the trades, you know what I'm talking about. I have 4 folders here and 3 fixed blades that I'm going to go over that I have used as multi-tools, tried and true, ready to rock and roll, and what I look for in a knife when I expect it to do more than cutting and slicing. So, just for reference here, my 2 favorite pry bars, pocket pry bars, are the County-Com 4-inch titanium widgie bar. So this one for my light duty one. And for my heavy duty, literally can do anything one, the BGM titanium pry bar. This one is 5 inches long, as thick as something very thick. And that could literally pry open a car door. So using these for reference as to kind of what length they need to be and what they can handle, I base my knives off of that because a lot of the stuff that I do is kind of like with my knives, when I'm using them as something other than a knife, generally speaking, I'm not using them as a screwdriver. I have done it, but it's not like my go-to thing. It's usually using them for leverage or to wiggle in between something and poke something out or pop something out. Just using it as a leverage tool like a pry bar. So when I'm using a folder as a pry bar, I'm hoping it'll kind of reach some characteristics of one of these. The first one being the Benchmade mini grip. So this is a super rugged, affordable pocket knife. It is, let's see, I don't know how many inches long it is, but you guys all know what a small Sebenza is for length, so we'll just kind of like bring that in for reference. So it's just a hair shorter than a small Sebenza 31. Very robust tip, but executed in a way where it's not bulky. Like this knife is not a bulky knife, especially if you get custom scales for it like I did. So I've mentioned where these scales are from before, just go watch my mini grip video. But it is thick enough to poke and pry and drill, but it's not like crazy bulky and overbuilt. Another thing that I look for in a knife that I use as a multi-tool is the tip being center with the rest of the knife, because when you're drilling, that makes it much easier. And just doing any like detail work with the tip, if it's at least center line, it makes it easier on you. If it's like a Warncliffe design for detail work, that's even better because it's aiming down at what you are cutting. But if it's at least center, good enough for me. And then I also don't want any type of cuckoo recurves or anything like that. I have used Tanto blades for scraping and stuff. Those are fantastic. I just don't have one in my collection right now. I sold it. But at least a long and basic and kind of straight edge with not too much belly or recurve or anything crazy. So the mini grip is an awesome choice, very rugged. I've used this and other mini grips for years and years. Just a fantastic option if you need to hard use your knives. Let's talk about the Sebenza 31. This one is going to cause a little bit of a rumble, but I've used this as a multi-tool. I've recorded myself using it as a scraper and a pry bar and a little drill and wiggling it into things, and it has just never failed, guys. And I'm sorry that you don't think a $475 knife should be used like that, but I do, and it just takes it in stride. This is a fantastic hard use knife, guys. It is. The design is meant for use. It literally means work. So really nice tip that looks thin. You know, that looks like a thin, delicate tip, but then you flip it over and it's like, oh, you got some boot. Nice, like rugged design. You have a hollow grind that gives a lot of strength and longevity to that blade. So that in this particular case is awesome because the longevity is something that will give you the confidence to use your knife. The fact that the way they grind this knife, that special hollow grind that they do, makes it so that you have a good amount of edge life in this in terms of sharpening over and over. Even if you need to sharpen it a lot, it will last a long time. So that will give you some extra confidence to use this knife. It works great as a scraper. It works great for detailed cuts. Not as great as some of the other options I'm bringing in, but you can do it. It's just like you have this sweep up in the front, which isn't completely ideal, but you can utilize it. Being able to kind of hold the knife like this and like that and do specialty cuts, that's really important. And this just nails all of it. Also, lack of ergonomics will fall into this whole thing, but you guys already know that. Lack of ergonomics makes the knife most ergonomic, and all of these will have essentially straight handles with no like cutouts for fingers or anything like that. The next one that I'm bringing in is my all-time favorite hard use work EDC knife. Hasn't changed. I really meant to flick that out. There we go. Emerson Mini A100. This is a po' boy conversion, so this is not like the stock build or scales or anything, but same blade. So this is a beast. Really straight edge, crazy thick tip. This is a pocket pry bar, 100%. That takes a great edge, and is it going to hold it forever? No, but you can do a lot of really rugged stuff with that blade shape, that kind of spear point, very thin in this dimension blade. Absolutely no ergonomics at all. That is literally so straight, perfect for poking and prying. This is absolutely fantastic. This is like a great staple puller too. It just wiggles right down in there and you can pop anything out of its way. Super awesome. I love the utility characteristics of Emerson's, but especially the Emerson Mini A100. And I have tons of videos explaining why this is my favorite. Like, if you are watching this for the first time right now and thinking, oh, that looks sexy, I have so many videos on it. Go watch those if you want to see this more. And I tested this for a month, so again, so many videos. You guys will probably guess what the last folder is. Dun 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 dun. The 940, of course. A great utility knife. Could not go any longer than this. This is pretty much pushing it for length. This is like an 8-inch knife, and that's pretty long. But tons of reach with this. This is one of those knives that you have a good extension of your hand with this because it is a long boy. Reinforced reverse tanto blade. Basically an actual straight edge knife, except for that tiny bit of sweep up there. Center line with the pivot tip. All of the good stuff that we're looking for. Crazy rugged. Can do a whole bunch of prying. You can use that reverse tanto area for a screwdriver if you need to, because that's like a really nice angle right there. That's really nice. And this one has a really nice booty for hammer purposes. This one does too. That's a really nice kind of like surface area for using that as a hammer. The other two, not so much. And then the fixed blades that I have that are good multi-tool-esque shapes. Anything Kephart, so this is a BGM mini Kephart, but any type of Kephart blade shape, definitely infinite possibilities in terms of usage. This is a tried and true, crazy old school bushcraft blade that has completely taken over the knife world and turned into EDC blades because it is so rugged, because it is reinforced, because it comes into center. and you have so much longevity with that blade. This choil is showing you how long I can use this until I shouldn't sharpen it anymore, and that is a lot of edge, guys. This is like infinity right here. I will never go past that choil in this lifetime. Very, very nice. Something kind of similar here, but a little more big and bulky and overbuilt. A spade type. I'm working like with this glare that's coming through. Sorry. Oh. Okay, so spade type blade shape here from BGM Knives. This is not something that is like on the market really, because this is his blade shape, but a lot of people fall in love with this, and you can just go get it from BGM Knives. This is a freaking shovel. Like, I'm not kidding. You could use this as a shovel in the dirt if you needed to. If you are out and about and need to dig a little hole, here it is. This is a great utility knife, super rugged. This is just a beast, guys. A really nice chopper too. This is great if you do food prep. This is a really nice chopping knife. You get a lot of purchase on that blade, holding the actual blade and tucking your middle finger under there for security. I mean, this is fantastic. Definitely something you could hammer into a surface to break things apart or something. I'm thinking maybe pallets, breaking down pallets, something like that. I'm so sorry if you're cringing, but these are things that are fun to do. So, that's a really good one. And then the last blade shape is, this is John's BGM mini Javelin, but you guys, I'm sure, have seen knives that are reminiscent of this particular blade shape, kind of like this sweeping blade shape with the very straight top. I loved using that blade shape when I was testing this. This is my Magna cut mini Javelin, and this was an awesome utility knife to use. The Magna cut wasn't my favorite steel to use. I have videos on that, but I did say over and over that this model and this blade shape are really fantastic when you're doing things other than slicing and cutting. That tip is incredible to work with. Being able to rest your finger like this, and again, tuck that middle finger down in that choil area and just cut for days and do like fine work for days. Having that flat top to just completely lock in is ridiculously nice. And especially like when you hold the knife like this as well, to use the tip for something to wiggle a staple, or use the back part to pull a nail out of the wall. This is really nice, guys. Just the shape in general is super. Phenomenal, as Indie Hammer would say. Phenomenal. So those are just some knives in my collection that I've used as like multi-tools, and they have a shape that, generally speaking, you can find on the market to use as a multi-tool, aside from the spade. But those are great options for utility knives, because some of the knives that are out there, guys, you just can't do a lot of this shit with. Like, I tried using this to wiggle some staples out, and it was just too brittle and too thin. So knives like this, not gonna fly. Knives like the Bug Out may or may not be okay, but the ones that I showed are tried and true, hard use blades that can do more than slice and cut. That's it. See you guys later. Go use your shit. Go buy some knives. And I will see you on the next one. So long.